Next, we'll hear from Michael Duffin. Michael?
Thank you. I'm Michael Duffin with the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Counterterrorism. The White House has made combating anti-Semitism and domestic terrorism top priorities. The State Department, in coordination with our interagency counterparts, is using every diplomatic tool at our disposal to address the international aspects of these threats. As Secretary Blinken said last week, it's important that we stay vigilant and relentless in the fight against anti-Semitism and hate, as individuals, countries, and coalitions of countries standing together. In addition to tools that target terrorist financing, travel, and operations, we are supporting community-focused programs overseas that empower local stakeholders to work with each other and their national governments to build the resilience of vulnerable individuals and groups. For example, our programs promote critical thinking in Jordan, interfaith dialogue in Morocco, rehabilitation and reintegration in Kazakhstan. In Bangladesh and Indonesia, we're supporting a program called Mother Schools, where we educate parents about the warning signs of radicalization. In France and Slovakia, we're supporting a program called Invent to Prevent, which empowers university students to develop messaging campaigns that combat extremism that's on their campuses and in their communities. For this panel, I do want to focus on our efforts to support local governments, local policymakers. In 2015, the State Department helped launch the Strong Cities Network, which is a global network focused on local government's role in preventing and countering violent extremism. There are more than 150 members globally. In the US, this includes Atlanta, Chattanooga, Los Angeles, Louisville, Pittsburgh, and San Diego. There's no cost for cities, counties, and states to join the network, and there are dozens of virtual and in-person events annually. Earlier this year, we organized, in partnership with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, a virtual discussion between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and mayors around the world to talk about how kindness and compassion can help address hate and polarization. The Strong Cities Network workshops and exchanges that we support allow members to share best practices and lessons learned with each other. Participants also receive specialized training from network staff and other experts. Through such engagements, cities have developed new programs inspired by other members and acquired a better understanding of the transnational threats they face from violent extremism. The network has also developed lessons learned on how mayors and other local leaders can most effectively respond to acts of violent extremism. To this end, the network published Responding to a Terror Attack, a Strong Cities Toolkit. This report features case studies from around the world, featuring reflections from Mayor Peduto and other mayors and policymakers. The State Department is also supporting two-way exchanges between U.S. cities and counterparts overseas to encourage greater domestic international connectivity. The City Pair program is a twinning exercise which has paired cities such as Chattanooga, Columbus, Las Vegas, Orlando, San Diego, and Seattle with counterparts from overseas. In December, we're bringing a German delegation of local leaders from Halle and Rostock who will spend a week in Atlanta and Savannah learning about U.S. efforts to engage vulnerable youth and protect communities of faith. Some of these exchanges have also included representatives from the local chapters of MPAC, ADL, and other organizations. Then in March, we're going to bring a delegation from Atlanta and Savannah to Germany to essentially look under the hood to see what the German communities are doing right, the areas where they could improve, and these programs are very effective and successful. One example, in 2015, there was a municipality in Belgium called Vilvoorde, which was notorious for the high number of foreign terrorist fighters, young people who had left for Syria and Iraq to support ISIS and other jihadist groups. And so they participated in this exchange with Columbus, Ohio. They were updating their strategy at the time and seeing how Columbus was engaging their communities, their young people, gave them a lot of good ideas. And based on the changes that they made, there were no more departures after that point. Not every program is going to be as successful as that, but we've seen how updated strategies and new programs have come about, and partnerships. And it's just to say that by Pittsburgh traveling overseas, a delegation from Pittsburgh traveling overseas to another community, it helps the members of that delegation bond with each other. And so we've seen how a local law enforcement official will work more closely with a rabbi, an imam, a religious leader, because of that, spending that 1 week overseas. I also want to talk about the isolation and anxiety that's been created by the COVID-19 pandemic and protests against mask and vaccine mandates, which have been a shot in the arm for violent white supremacists and other hate groups who prey on vulnerable and naive individuals. We have to scale up these efforts, bring more stakeholders into the fold, and build and maintain networks where policymakers and practitioners can share best practices and lessons learned. The State Department is supporting many of these programs, but we need foundations, the private sector to support these as well. And so I'm happy to talk to you afterwards to exchange business cards, to talk about how the programs that we're doing can also be supported by you. And these are the dots that we have to connect because there are interested stakeholders. And one example in the front row is Dave Fortier, who of One World Strong in Boston. He's a survivor of the Boston Marathon bombing. He was about to cross the finish line when one of the bombs went off. We connected. He was part of a delegation from Boston that visited Manchester, and he connected with survivors in Quebec, the mosque shooting. And those individuals actually came to Tree of Life in the wake of that attack. And so we're really empowering a lot of well-intentioned individuals. And there are a lot of people in this room who know, Americans who know stakeholders overseas because of State Department exchange programs. So we want to work with you. Let's exchange business cards and let's find a way to collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And